going on, everybody? Hope you're all having a fantastic day today. Now, ladies and gentlemen, holy smokes, I got some amazing news for you guys, especially those who have been really enjoying Battlefield 6, and maybe some bad news for those who hate Battlefield 6. But boy, oh boy, this game is doing absolutely phenomenal. I have so many stats to showcase to you guys, and I think you guys are going to be in for a massive treat because it's looking like Battlefield 6 is going to be doing very well, and hopefully post-launch is going to be supported tremendously with how well it's currently doing. But of course, ladies and gentlemen, before going dive on deep, if you guys are interested in more content like this, don't forget subscribing to the bell. Post twice here, once at 8 a.m. Eastern Time and a second time at 5 p.m. Eastern Time. Everything between Battlefield, Arc Raiders, Call of Duty, Gears of War, Skate. I mean, I try to discuss as much as possible. Splitgate. If you guys are interested in any of those games, by all means, subscribe and hit that bell. And last but not least, I do stream Monday through Saturday over on Twitch starting at 1 p.m. Eastern Time. If you guys are interested, go link that channel down in the description of this video. Now, ladies and gentlemen, to go ahead and begin, I saw this post by Battlefield Bulletin, and he said, EA says Battlefield 6 is the best-selling shooter game of the year. And of course, if you go to the official Battlefield page, the website, it'll be a little, message at the very top of EA saying exactly this. Absolutely huge, ladies and gentlemen. Now, I will say this isn't as big of an accomplishment because being the best-selling shooter game of the year, while there's not much shooting game competition out right now, I will say that's not the best achievement that Battlefield 6 has so far gotten, especially since Call of Duty just recently dropped, so it's not like we really have the statistics or the sales numbers of Black Ops 7, although we have heard that physical copies in the UK are down about 61%, so that does say a little something, but it's not the overall picture just yet, so, saying that Battlefield 6 is the best-selling shooter game of the year is kind of expected. But that's not the best part. As I said, it's more than just that. Modern Warzone posted this, tweet here as well. Battlefield 6 launched as the best-selling game in franchise history. Its October 2025 volume alone surpassed the lifetime sales total of the previous record holder, Battlefield 1. This, ladies and gentlemen, is exactly why I wanted to go ahead and showcase to you all, because that is mental, okay? The fact that we finally got a Battlefield game to surpass the potential that Battlefield 1 pushed forward is truly a great sign, and it showcases that EA is finally understanding what makes Battlefield Battlefield. Now, this isn't guaranteed that they're going to continue on this route and they're not going to screw stuff up years down the road with future introductions or try to do what they did with 2042 and make it solely and only Battle Royale experience and screw everything else. We have no clue what EA's plans are. They're scummy and they're also selling out at the company, so we'll see what they're planning here. The worst case scenario is that they go on a yearly cycle like Call of Duty and start pumping out these games very quickly, which will kill the franchise very quickly as well. It's not going to destroy it right away. They'll probably be able to get away with at least maybe 2 titles, back to back doing such a thing. But it will create burnout very quickly if they continue that pattern. But so far, so good. They actually put together a solid Battlefield experience. It's fun, it's engaging, it's reliable. That's the best way I could put it. I mentioned this in a previous video, but the Battlefield community, when it comes to Battlefield 6, wasn't looking for anything groundbreaking, And it's why I said when it comes to Game of the Year, I would definitely choose Arc Raiders over Battlefield 6 because of the fact that Arc Raiders is groundbreaking. It went into the extraction genre, and it, took it 50 steps up towards the rest of the competition within that genre specifically. Whereas Battlefield 6 didn't really do anything groundbreaking, it just made a solid Battlefield experience. But that's good. That's great. Just because I choose Arc Raiders as Game of the Year doesn't mean that Battlefield 6 is horrible to me. I love them both very equally. It's just that Arc Raiders did a little bit more when it comes to innovating. But we didn't want that from Battlefield, right? I think the majority of the community just wanted a game that we can have for years to come, especially in case EA decides to mess around a bit and start doing stupid stuff. We'll still have a solid product that we can bounce back to, like how people have been bouncing back to Battlefield 4 for ages now. People wanted something like that. A Battlefield experience that's fun, the core foundation is there, it's going to be supported with a lot of content over the years, and then when they move on, if it's bad, whatever their next game is, that's fine. Who cares? At least we have something a bit more modern that we can fall back on instead of having to go all those years back to play Battlefield 4 again and again and again. So, in my personal opinion, this is exactly what we needed, and it showcases that the Battlefield formula is still there, it's still strong, and people absolutely love it. It's not dead. People always think that Battlefield is an irrelevant, type of game, but it's not. And it's so sad because people keep coming at Battlefield 6's neck on, the Steam chart saying, oh, it's dying, it's still downtrending. Yeah, It is downtrending. I'm not going to deny that. And it's still going to downtrend. It's probably going to go, further down. But tell me the last Battlefield game that you guys know of that could hit a player count like Battlefield 6 on Steam alone, not including consoles, not including the EA launcher. Like, even back in the day for Origins with Battlefield 1, I don't even think Battlefield 1 hit a player count that is as high as Battlefield 6. None of them. This game is not only outselling the whole franchise, but it has brought in so much popularity. And the best part about it, it's not even based off of RedSec, the BR. And I'll be real, I feel like the BR isn't even going to thrive for Battlefield. But it's proof of concept that people like Battlefield for Battlefield. It hit an all-time peak of over 700,000 players for the Battlefield 6 experience alone, when BR wasn't even a thing. So people played it on Steam, 700,000 individuals for Battlefield. I don't think anybody understands how happy that makes me, and it should make a lot of you guys happy as well, that people are that excited and that in love with the overall Battlefield formula. But ladies and gentlemen, that's not all. There's one last post I saw from Charlie Intel, which really, I mean, gosh, this is massive. Battlefield 6 had the biggest launch month in terms of revenue of any game in the last 3 years. The only game to beat it is 2022's Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2. Ladies and gentlemen, that game sold a lot. Modern Warfare 2 2022 is probably one of the most popular COD games at this point, at least when it comes down to initial sales and how many people hopped into the experience. Maybe not, when they played it and made their opinions up, but when it comes down to sales, yes, that's probably one of the most popular. And the fact that is the only game to surpass the base sales of Battlefield 6 is absolutely insane to think about. And for me personally, again, no guarantee because we don't know the sales for Black Ops 7. We don't know what's going on with that game. But let me tell you something. There's no way that Black Ops 7 is going to outpace Modern Warfare 2 2022. There's not a chance, especially with how things are going across the board. Which means that I'm pretty positive Battlefield 6 might be the winner this year. I can't believe I'm even saying this, but it genuinely seems that nobody cares about COD right now, and rightfully so. That's what happens when you start shoving games down people's throats year after year after year, and that's one of my biggest concerns with Battlefield, is if Battlefield turns into that, because the same exact thing will happen to Battlefield. That's already happened to Call of Duty. If EA starts shoving this stuff down our throats, it's a GG in the chat. People are going to start getting burnt on the franchise. It's not going to be as special anymore. The reason that Battlefield can still, bring in hype, even on their worst games like 2042, for example, is the time in between games to build that hype, that excitement. People had years to experiment with the game, try the game, play the game, enjoy the game. They don't feel rushed. It doesn't feel like, oh, I have to get all this stuff done on a deadline because a new game is going to come out soon and it's going to make this one irrelevant. No. People can actually soak it up, and also allows the developers to be a bit more creative, although 2042 was a disaster. Let's all be honest here, but the developers have enough time to make genuinely good changes. Not all the time, but, big changes to the overall Battlefield formula that are meaningful because they have time to think about it. They don't have to constantly keep reevaluating what the community feels like off of a yearly basis. No, they just keep innovating, soak up things, let the current Battlefield game cook, and then launch another one, 3-4 years down the road, and the hype is just always there. I feel like Battlefield might be, I don't want to say it's going to be a long-term, success type of game, but boy, oh boy, I don't know if Call of Duty is going to be, bringing anything to the table anymore when it comes to popularity and how much people love it. It seems like every year that goes by, more players are dropping off, and rightfully so, especially with how untrustworthy Activision is. And I'm not saying EA is any better, but boy, oh boy, Activision has been doing a number on this community, and that has killed the trust for the foreseeable future. But ladies and gentlemen, Battlefield 6, let's be real here, guys, it's kicking butt. It's absolutely kicking butt in the whole scene. It is bringing me so much happiness to report this to you all. And I just hope that this allows this game to continuously thrive. I hope EA sees how important Battlefield is to their portfolio, and they just invest more and more and more into it. But at the same time, as I stated, it worries me because, sometimes when these big companies see how good a game is or how important it is, that just means how hard can we milk it, right? It's like, oh, everybody loves Battlefield. Everybody's just going to buy it anyways. So how are we going to milk it now? How are we going to get all the money out of these suckers instead of actually making quality products? Especially since they turned the corner from Battlefield 2042 and we're actually getting good Battlefield games again. If they can gain the community's trust back, they might start doing some scummy stuff because of how well this game is performing. But I don't know, because EA does scummy stuff in everything, even like Skate, for example. You know, that's not even like one of their top-end games under their portfolio, but they're still screwing it over in multiple different ways. So, man, it still worries me what EA is capable of, but I'm hoping that this will only bring more success to Battlefield and more hype and more acknowledgement from EA to put money and resources into this title and make sure they cook, especially with post-launch content. We need maps, we need guns, we need gear, we need things to play with and encourage players to hop back in all the time, not for FOMO's sake, but because it's new stuff to play around with. That's what it's all about. And if they can nail that, I can only imagine Battlefield 6 getting better and better and better down the road. But ladies and gentlemen, as always, if you enjoyed today's video, leave a like. If you hate it, leave a dislike. Don't forget to subscribe and hit that bell. I post twice here, once at 8 a.m. Eastern Time and a second time at 5 p.m. Eastern Time. And also, if you guys are interested in any of my live streams, I do stream Monday through Saturday over on Twitch starting at 1 p.m. Eastern Time. Of course, guys are interested, got a link to that channel down in the description of this video. But as always, thank you for tuning in, and I'll see you all next one. Peace out.